Hello guys, welcome to the fiction series. Today we are gonna see, what if Naruto got harem with Batgirl, Zatanna and Orphan? Part 2. If you want more awesome fan fiction like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, so without wasting any time let's get into the video. I said it before. Red X Naruto said, wiping off ketchup from his jacket, "I fucking hate the condiment king." He complained as Robin groaned as he took off his domino mask stain with relish. Dude does not make it easy, he always acts like a big shot. The young ward of Bruce muttered as they turned to see their teacher walk in, also a few splotches of mustard and mayo on his cape. "This is gonna take at least 3 washes in the machine before getting all these stains off," Naruto grumbled, watching Alfred scoff at the suggestion. "Master Naruto, please don't suggest that I'm inefficient." "Master Bruce, I already lay your new clothes as with the others," he said as the Batman went up to use the stairs to change out of his uniform. "Yes, it's good we got one hell of a butler," Naruto said, taking off his jacket and soon removing his skull mask to scratch his scalp. "I need a new mask than this, wearing the hood makes my head itch." Robin grinned as he started to take off his shirt. "Ha, you should really get a domino mask like mine. The fact that even the police haven't figured out your real identity baffles me still." Naruto comically deadpan at the fact such little effort made Beep nearly mysterious as Batman. "What's your secret?" "If I told you, it really wouldn't be one, now would it?" Beep, Naruto stated as Robin puffed out his chest. "That's my name, don't wear it out." Naruto gave a soft smile as the two were walking up the stairs, only in their boxers, as Alfred took their uniforms to clean. "Hey, I have a question. Bruce has been buying nearly every issue of the comics I write, right?" he said as they walked up to see the living room flooded with issues of The Batman Who Laughs, The Dawnbreaker, Grim Knight, and the newest edition Red Death. Both are now putting on some loose pants and shirts so they can relax after their daily work. Beep lost his smile as he gave a serious look. "Yeah, it's due to the whole paralyzing you in your sleep thing. He agrees we need to learn more about this connection you have. But since we can't afford to accidentally overdose you, he's keeping track any hints in the comics." Yeah, sounds about right," Naruto trailed off. Robin looked at the cover of Red Death, a red armored Batman dashing over hundreds of burnt skulls. "This one is officially scary," he said, flipping through the pages. "Batman breaking the Speed Force by basically strapping the Flash on a jury-rigged cosmic treadmill on the Batmobile made him a fusion of them." Naruto swallowed some of his fear from that one. "Yeah, and not to mention Flash is still technically alive. In constant agony being fused with Bruce, who violence his power, screaming for the pain to end," he said as Robin took a seat. "Just another day hearing Naruto's nightmares." "Yeesh, you have to see this every night." Robin winced. He had some nightmares from what he saw when they patrol or that night where he lost his family. But Naruto sees these horrible things about their teacher and almost brushes it off like it's nothing. Naruto shrugged. "Drugs help. Bruce got me a steady supply of dream suppressors that work well mostly." He trailed off, remembering that both Kushina and his grandpa Kent had to use medicine for his dreams with magical plants that usually tasted like the back of someone's. "As this sounds really bad. You really got famous, the guys at school like your stuff." Robin started as Naruto scoffed. "Yeah, but remember I am not really into being a famous comic writer. It took Bruce Sensei years to keep his identity and Batman persona to a science. I took my Red X jacket yesterday by accident." Yin was almost confused on how I had one. Naruto explained as the Asian girl almost grilled him if he didn't lie on saying he likes Red X, only to be on the receiving end of her rant on liking vigilantes. "Damn, that sounds really rough." Robin frowned sadly. He felt bad for the boy, having to go through literal nightmare after nightmare every day of his life. He couldn't imagine all that stress he had to deal with before Bruce took him under his wing. "I guess I'd be going insane too if that's been happening every night of my life." "Well, you got friends at school. I like Ethan and Yin, but I really wish I can talk more about my nightmares with someone who understands," he said, knowing it's his magical side that somehow made him see this. Robin was a great guy and better friend. But he can only help on a normal, scientific side. Zatara and Zatanna were the only ones who helped Naruto think it was a bad flow of magic that caused it to happen or something else that usually eases his worries. The fact is that his training under Batman made him physically stronger, mentally, and he will admit he is maturing into a young adult that can juggle his emotions better. But the fact is that he was still scared of the unknown, of the Batman Who Laughs, the darkest nights, all because of Master Naruto. Alfred said, walking up as he had an odd look. Do you know a possible young girl with Italian background?" His eyes widened at only one person that fit that description. "Why do you ask?" he said as Bruce walked up with a stern look, holding an unconscious Zatanna in his arms. "Equus, she was in your room with a bloody nose," he said, with Naruto paling at the glare. He feared it was odd. He feared the bat glare more than the Batman Who Laughs cackling. He wasn't sure if that was good or not. "She is so grounded," Naruto said as he and the other males placed her on the couch after he and Robin changed into their normal clothing. He looked at Alfred, who nodded to his gaze. She was in my room. Apparently so. I went to get your change of clothing where I saw the young lady on your bed, a small pool of dyed blood on your pillow. He said as the butler walked up to her and gently checked on her condition. She seems alright, assuming it's not a magical thing. How did she even know where he was? Robin pondered in thought. Or better yet, how did she even get here in the first place? Bruce looked at Naruto with a narrow gaze. The spell, the one you used to get to anywhere. Did you teach it to her? Naruto shook his head violently. No, no, no. He balked for a moment, remembering their habit of sharing spells to test each other. Bruce stared at him, giving a harder glare. The blonde hero sighed. Okay, I left her some notes, but it's not possible without a proper idea of the location. He said as Robin and Bruce gave confused looks. Okay, say you're in a room full of thick mist, but you know the layout of the room done to the steps, right? The spell is like that. You keep your head clear and calm, you can guide your spell to be where you want. The more precise the location, the easier the goal. I guess that makes sense. Robin furrowed his brow, but he still felt confused. But that's for people who are used to it. Z must have thought something like to where Naruto is must have been her keywords to use the spell. The more vague it is, the more draining the spell. Concentration and clear mind is needed for spells. The nosebleed is her spell, overworking her magical energy to find me. He explained, smiling softly at the connection. She will be fine depending how much energy she used. I say she has a few minutes to a couple hours till she's able to walk. They stopped when they heard groaning from the couch to see the girl's eyes opening slowly. Oh no, Dad, I swear Naruto broke the espresso machine. Awa, Naruto stuttered out before reaching at the girl's shoulders and shaking her hard. You lying, overcooking pasta, sugary coffee, addict. I got grounded for 2 weeks for that. You said you know how to work the damn thing. He would have shook her harder if not for Bruce and Beat pulling him off her. The girl moaned harder at the sudden jolt before her sight started to clear up and saw someone she was hoping to see. Zatanna's eyes started to tear up before lunging at Naruto. You're okay. She shouted, you idiot, where were you? She shouted, holding him tighter as the two adults let go as Naruto looked shocked. I was so worried about you, I thought you. The blonde couldn't reply as he was stunned at her first reaction to seeing him. He believed that she was still, or at least what he thought, angry at him. I've been looking all over for you. Zatanna said. When you went through that door, all I saw was. She stopped herself as she blushed at the memory of what she saw in that closet. Shaking her head to remember the next part, she continued with a serious look. Then I asked Dad where you were, only to tell me you were working with Batman at Gotham. I cracked how to use the Fate's Door spell you gave me. Your dad ratted me out, Naruto said before realizing only one person who could tell Giovanni about his location and glared at his teacher, who averted his gaze. Oh my, Alfred murmured. Well, this is a rather awkward situation. Yeah, no kidding. Robin scoffed, his arms crossed. Bruce let out a breath of annoyance. It was to assure him that your situation with your nightmares were fine. He allowed you to stay when I promised him after more training you would be able to see him and his daughter. However, the dark-haired teen mage didn't care for that. Oh. You mean you agree to let him see me when it's good for you? She said, standing up to the dark causator. You're the reason he has nightmares. See, that's not. He started as Batman lifted a hand to make him back down. The billionaire didn't say anything but took a knee to get to Zatanna's eye level. You're mad, that's fine. I agree that what I said was a bit much, but you understand that you have to calm down. You're possibly hurt from the spell, do you understand? He said with a tone that her father always had when explaining a serious nature situation. Zatanna sighed as she nodded. I do, sir. She honestly said as Bruce smiled. Can you, please let me talk to Naruto? The man nodded. Naruto, take her to your room. I'm going to call her father. He said as Zatanna winced at the possible talk her father would give her. Hello, being grounded forever, she whispered in defeat as Naruto walked her up to the stairs. Sniff sniff, who smells like ketchup? The magician said as Naruto sweat drops at the reminder of tonight. That's a long story, Naruto mumbled. Naruto and Zatanna sat at his bed drinking hot chocolate that Alfred gave. So Bruce Wayne is the Batman, Zatanna said with soulless eyes. The man who makes enough money that he could screw with Dad's career with just a bad review. Ooh, and I basically spat venom on him. Yes, yes, and yes. Naruto nodded at all three of her statements. Right, yeah, I'm definitely getting grounded for life. Zatanna said before taking another sip of her hot chocolate. But you are, Naruto mumbled. Also thanks for lying to your dad for breaking his espresso machine. He said with a lifeless look of betrayal on his face. Zatanna cried waterfall tears at this. I was 7. I knew Daddy was going to be angry and I didn't want to get spanked. Your mother just took away your ramen. She justified her betrayal as Naruto scoffed. Ah, bullshit. He played with the words. No way that was gonna happen with my ramen. It so would. They laughed lightly as Naruto looked down. I'm sorry for yelling at you at the coffee shop. I just didn't want to admit I was still scared of that man. he explained as he looked at his desk where he had already started the cover for the next issue of The Batman Who Laughs, The Death of Superman. Zatanna shook her head, knowing that it was also her fault for pushing the subject. It's fine, but I wish you could have said something sooner. I know and I'm sorry for that. He said he could have sent her a letter or even popped in during his free time. So you've been here all this time? Zatanna asked, looking at the room he was in. Taking note of the few BWL posters, and training. Naruto smiled at the question, yeah, training to be stronger both physically and mentally. It's a pain in the ass, but I'm getting better at it. At least I hope I am. He said flexing his arm, I can bench around 200 pounds. Beep can still beat me on that, but I got him with my sleight of hand. He said wiggling his fingers before pulling a card out of nowhere. Thanks for that Z. The girl smiled with a soft blush on that, please dad would have taught you that if you asked him. It took longer because I couldn't explain clearly enough. She muttered softly as the girl brushed a strand of her hair behind her ear. Nah, I don't think he would've. Naruto waved her off nonchalantly, besides, after breaking that espresso machine, I shouldn't ask him for any favors anyway. He chuckled as Zatanna gave him a grateful look on keeping her intact. The two didn't say anything as Zatanna lay her head on Naruto's shoulder, I missed you, I didn't know how long almost 3 weeks could be. It felt more like months actually. She started with a small frown, I also replayed the last conversation we had and wonder where did I go wrong. I wanted to say sorry, but I couldn't find you. Naruto, please don't do that again, she said as the blonde could feel her trembling body. I won't, he promised as they sat in silence until they looked at each other. Zatanna's eyes glistened at his gaze, slowly leaning forward too. Hey guys, Bruce is sorry, didn't mean to kill the mood. Beep said, eyes wide at the fact he saw Zatanna glaring at him with enough heat to be considered a Kryptonian. What? Naruto said in confusion. Nothing. Anyways, Bruce wants ya. Beep said, before promptly leaving the room. Naruto looked to see Zatanna with a worried look and offered her his hand. Don't worry, he started, making her look up at his smile and mind-looking eyes, I'll take some of the blame if it helps. He promised as the girl took the offer limb and walked with him to see Bruce Wayne crossing his arms. Okay, I talked to your father. He said looking at Zatanna, who took a breath of air to get ready. Unfortunately he is still on a stakeout with the Flash, so he won't come until tomorrow, where we will get someone to relieve his post until he gets you home. Naruto noticed his glare was now directed at him. Also, he wants me to tell Naruto that you will not buy any instant ramen for teaching his daughter a spell that could have gotten her seriously hurt. But he said I can increase it if you try to weasel your way out. Also, Bruce trailed off as he pulled out a tape recorded for Zatanna, who sighed, Zatanna, you are grounded. The young magic user winced as the recording of her father, saying what she knew was going to happen. Putting it away, Bruce spoke, so you two are basically going to spend your time together until he arrives. Aw man, Naruto whined as he didn't have a problem with that, but the fact Zatara is pissed made him lose hope. Last time her father was this mad was the fact Naruto almost blew up his rabbit for his show. Poor Fluffy, he almost died due to an improper word. Granted, Kent shouldn't have taught a 10-year-old kid on how to use pyro magic without a warning or two. Yes sir, Zatanna bowed her head as she and Naruto walked upstairs. Ahem, where are you two going? Bruce declared as the two teens looked confused themselves. To sleep. They said as Bruce shook his head. The man knew Zatara wasn't okay with Naruto sleeping with his daughter, romantically or platonically wasn't an issue. He was going to at least keep Zatara's upset mood as low as possible. No, you two will sleep in different rooms. End of discussion. Zatanna looked horrified at this. What? No, please, he can't sleep without me. I help. She stopped as Bruce shook his head. Please, I want to help. He doesn't have to get nightmares. He never has. Every time when I sleep next to him, he's calm and sleeps like a baby. Bruce raised an eyebrow before looking at Naruto. Is what she says true? It's true, Naruto mumbled, slightly embarrassed on how Zatanna made it sound. The Dark Knight didn't want Naruto to continue to shovel drugs down his throat or slowly let his mind get crushed from the mental horrors he has. Tonight only, and the door is open, that's it. Alfred chuckled as he gave Naruto a nod. I should remind you, Master Naruto, you have a meeting with your job. Something about the killing mech or something along those lines. He was reminded as Naruto sighed. Right, the company loved his new series yet again, thanks to Bruce ordering him to also get his work on the newest Nightmare to be issued as well. Also, Miss Zatanna, would you like Master Naruto's spare pajamas? They might be a little big, but they should fit nonetheless. He vouched as the girl nodded at the kind gesture. Soon after changing into a plaid matching PJ set, the two were in Naruto's room yet again. Zatanna, sitting at his bed, allowed herself to look at the collection of comics Naruto had in his desk, all drafts no doubt, but she could clearly see the detail of this was almost realistic. Then again, he is seeing something. Turning, she also saw photos of Naruto with Bruce and Beep. It was recent as it showed the first edition of Batman Who Laughs. Next was a dark-skinned teen holding a basketball under his left arm, with Naruto frowning in a pouty way, given in the background the score showed Naruto lost by a huge margin. Lastly in that pic was Asian girl wearing a red jacket holding a tray of drinks for them to enjoy. Seems you really adjusted in your new life. The blonde chuckled softly, it wasn't easy at first, I was still getting used to living with the guy who haunted my nightmares. And I was still bitter about how I left New York, but despite what people think a lot of Gotham citizens are good-willed. He admitted as he remembered the criminals were also people who had tough times to resort to this wrong choice of events. Not to mention your red ex, she said with a low smile as Naruto blushed, surprised. Yeah well imagine my own reaction when Grunkle Ken told me you're doing something that made Batman take you under his wing. Sorry he said as the girl sighed, making him turn to her. I'm worried for you, she started as she comically made her hand seem like she was choking someone. You always make Sue angry. Like MMMMH. Because you think you have it so damn tough, I lost my mom, but you told me to never lose hope and talk to you when I have problems. Yet you don't let anyone except for Kent to help, and even then it's when he figures it out or catches you in the act. Naruto couldn't help but agree to that coloration, he never really likes being someone to be weak and always goes out of his way to help them instead. Zatanna continued after she took a moment to breathe, but that's why I care so much for you. She looked to see Naruto snap his head to her direction, it's something that I can't ignore. So she placed a hand on his chest, you will never get rid of me, cause I'm always in your heart. Okay? She asked with a soft smile on her face as Naruto lowered his head, smiling at her kind words to be there for him. He was so worried that he threw away their bond, but he didn't realize it was still strong in there. Okay thank you he whispered as he placed his drink to the side and held Zatanna suddenly. The girl in question gasped with red cheeks, she was never a stranger to boys hugging her especially Naruto, but even this quickly made her unable to control the stirring in her Naruto. She asked, feeling him tremble while holding her gently. I want to stay like this please. Just until we sleep. He asked softly, his head resting on her stomach. The Italian girl merely smiled warmly, placing her drink next to Naruto, using a spell to make it float to its own cup. She pulled him into the bed, placing a thick and warm blanket over their bodies. As long as you want. She whispered back as the two fell into a deep sleep. Morning. Naruto's eyes opened up, slowly sitting upwards he moved his legs to touch the floor. That wasn't a nightmare but it wasn't a dream like before, it was like someone was trying to teach him something. Turning to the digital clock it told him he was pretty early for a day off. 7 a.m. He turns to see Zatanna now holding a pillow for more comfort, smiling sweetly as he gently places the blanket over her body. Leaving the room, while taking a small amount of his drawings and draft for the meeting, Naruto heads down to the living room where he sees a note on the coffee table. Grabbing it he read aloud the contents, Naruto, trusting you to keep Zatanna under your eye. Went to work, took Beep with me to get him outfitted with new equipment tomorrow is your turn. BW. Naruto chuckled as no doubt the man was letting enjoy the moment his friend was with him, better get started on the dream. Like every day when not recounting his previous dreams for comics, he drew what he remembered from the last dream he had. Soon Naruto had a pretty good rough draft of the 3 places he could recall in great detail. Naruto what are you doing? The young man didn't turn, but quickly turned over a new page to quickly work on a new cover for another Darkest Night coming out soon. Work, also morning. He said kindly as he saw the girl hair cutely messy from her lack of attention to fixing it. Nice bed hair. He smirked. Zatanna momentarily gawked before attempting to fix said hair with her hands to make it at least look decent. So you're starting on the new comic, huh? That's the cover, the new one is right here. He said taking out a stack of papers, don't read it, Beep said that was the one of the scariest ones that might happen. The girl didn't seem to listen as she read the title. The Murder Machine. He seriously, don't. He warned as the young stood up, I'll make some espresso and some breakfast, just don't read it. Not even 1 page. I said no. Naruto deadpanned at her. Alright, fine. Zatanna raised her hand in defense. When Naruto went into the kitchen, Zatanna's lips sputtered as she pulled the draft to her eyes. What's 1 page? I told you not to Naruto sighed as Zatanna was comically shaking in her seat, trying to sip her espresso. I'm sorry Zatanna stuttered as she shakingly placed the drink into her lips. Ow, hot. When I tell you something to not do, you don't do it, got it? The girl nodded, I thought he was going to be a cyborg villain, not this Terminator Alfred story she whispered in a horrified voice, even Bane tried to get out of dodge. Yeah and that AI Alfred did that to Batman Air Murder Machine. Naruto said finishing the rest of his food. When you're done with the first comic horrors, we're going to my company to drop this off. The girl nodded as she slowly finished her meal, as Naruto smiled at her enjoying their time again, despite how short it was. At the very least, he's earned this small measure of peace. For the moment, them being together, everything in the world felt right. Done. The girl said, getting up from her seat. Twirling around she spoke, up Tegninram. In a small pink cloud was now a black jacket over a white shirt with black short skirt. Ready. She cutely raised her hand up as Naruto nodded to leave with her. The two quickly left the manor they were in, not noticing someone was watching them from the tallest building nearby. The child of her, he seems unworthy. The person muttered before his hands gained a green aura, but then again she was also unworthy too. Let's see if he is right for the power. Gotham Comics HQ. Whoa, holy damn, either you're a genius or you got a really messed up mind, I can't tell. Kurogasa said, bewildered, as he flipped through the pages that Naruto submitted. Seriously dude, where's your uncle? Naruto groaned, eating his third pack of chips as he waited. I got to keep her, pointing to Zatanna who was spinning in her chair to alleviate some boredom. Somewhere that isn't boring. The person in front of Naruto sighed. It was a busy last few weeks even since his uncle signed up Naruto as a comic artist. Their business skyrocketed to all corners of the world rather than just the country. Lots of orders came from all parts of the world, wanting every issue of the Darkest Night comics, and every issue was picking up tons of money with each new one. Sorry, my bad, it's just. Before he can finish, his uncle and another woman came into the office, both frazzled yet excited when they saw Naruto. Oh thank Kami, so sorry about this. I just had to talk about which comics to prioritize that aren't yours, it's just been crazy. Kurogasa looked at him with a very dry look. God damn it uncle, seriously? He said, before facepalming. I swear one of these days, you're gonna get fired and I'll have to take the reins. Sorry Ku, the older man said before sitting down to see the cover of the new Darkest Night. Wow, a cyborg Batman. He pondered, giving it a quick read of the new addition to the series. Yep, Kurogasa and Zatanna said lifelessly, both knowing the whole story. This is genius. Once again, you've outdone yourself. The older man smiled as if he was the proudest father he had ever been. Alright, so. Same as before, I don't need the money, so send whatever you think it's right. Z, let's move. Naruto said as the girl nodded as the two were about to leave. Wait, we got some good news. Huh? Naruto and Zatanna looked at the older man. The hell are you going on about? The last time you gave good news, it was more to your benefit and not mine. So what makes you think? Hey, where am I supposed to be? Meeting room 2. Naruto heard a voice behind him and sighed, turning towards him. Yeah you can, dear sweet mother of God. Naruto shouted as Zatanna comically jumped to his arms. What stood before them was him, the Batman who laughs, who was frowning. Sorry Mark, down the hall buddy. Kuro said as the man gave a thumbs up before leaving. Dude, what the hell was that? Naruto shouted, putting down his friend as his rage made the others look slightly alarmed. The owner of the company looked worried. What's wrong? I thought you would like it, we are just trying to advertise the series, maybe get a show. Absolutely not. Naruto said before leaving the room. Zatanna chased after him, moving to his side. The contract said no shows, no TV, movies, whatever. I said only comics and nothing else. Look, you're pissed but calm down. The magician in training reminded as Naruto tried to. They're trying to make you happy, let's calm down and get something to eat before anything is permanent. Chinese food. Naruto rubbed his hands on his face to finally agree, nothing spicy this time. He requested as the girl nodded happily. Gotham City Park. The two enter a nearby park after getting their meal from a place Ian took Naruto before. I swear, that old geezer is raising my blood pressure by the minute, Naruto grumbled as he and Zatanna had ordered their food and ate his noodles straight from the takeout box with his chopsticks. Sorry, he said, hanging his head low, I lost my cool. Hey, it's fine. I'd be mad too if someone wanted to advertise my stuff without my consent. Zatanna assured him. No, it's just BWL. Naruto growled at that name. I can never control either being afraid of him or being angry at him. That's why we have that argument, I can't keep that monster away from my mind. Right, she mumbled awkwardly, drinking her soda from the reminder of it. The two sat there until Naruto noticed something. Hey Z, I'll be back. He said, walking in the park following someone. Wait, where are you going? Zatanna asked, but sighed when he promptly ignored her. She sat there until someone took a seat next to her. I'm sorry someone. She suddenly stopped as her blood ran ice cold when the person took out a gun and placed it on their lap. We have two choices, we obey our demons or we die. A dark smirk made her swallow her fear. Miss Atara, what's your choice? As minutes passed, the blonde followed someone who stopped, realizing he was deep into the woods. The person turned back to show Naruto a hood face. Impressive, didn't think you were able to sense my powers so easily. The hood figure said in a proud tone. It wasn't that hard to notice. Naruto replied back to the mysterious figure. I know magic when I sense it. The person brought their right arm to their chin and hummed, magic. He whispered, I guess to your view it does sound like it. Alright, but unfortunately you will stop right there. He said, his hand glowing green as a line appeared before the done in the dirt ground, right in the perfect amount of equal distance between them. Otherwise I cannot be responsible for Miss Zatanna's Atara. What? The teen said in shock as the persona took off their hood. The persona looks rather unremarkable, almost average as can be. Short black hair and hazel-colored eyes, and fair skin with a normal skin tone. Nothing about him screams different or interesting. My name is. Don't care, you're going to give me back. The blonde lunges at the nameless mysterious man, only for a sharp pain to scream in his body. What? He turned to see a dark-skinned man smirking at him. What caught his eyes was a silver sword that had an odd second blade sticking out from the side. Well, you're rather hot-headed. And here we are trying to be civilized with you. The man said with a slight accent, sorry boss, just got the lass where you wanted her. Where's Zatanna? The man said with a smirk as Naruto saw a green light next to him before vanishing. Oh, don't worry, she's perfectly safe for now. However, the average-looking man didn't let him continue, nor will anything happen to her, Mr. Uzumaki, he said with a soft curt nod, call the Batman, Robin, the whole Justice League if you want. Wait, what? Both the villain and Naruto shouted as the average person continued. Later today, at 10 p.m., 5 challenges will await you. If you can clear all 5 of them before midnight, Ms. Zatanna will be freed. You have my word. The man said before looking at who vanished into dust. My associate will watch your progress in case you try to go against me. What is it you want from me? The man looked up. Haven't you wondered why things happen? Why are things so interesting to observe? He asked, using a hand to reach for the sky, only to find out that the abyss watches you. Then again, you're the one who does the watching, haven't you? That gazes upon a darkness that shouldn't be seen. He shouted as a flash of light caused Naruto to flinch. Soon when his eyes opened, his fears were true. He was alone. Rage started to boil his inner soul. Eyes turning yellow and his hair slowly losing its golden color for an ominous no color until he calmed down. I will not let my anger control me. His eyes returned to their soulful azure color and took out a small black device, the bat communicator. He hit the button as the young man rushed home. No doubt Batman and Robin were going to be told what had happened. Although due to his alarmed mindset, he never noticed that his necklace, or more importantly his silver key, was glowing a strange aura, flickering, so on and so forth. The key of his whole identity has finally been opened. We need to go. Naruto said as he arrived at the Batcave, using his spell to instantly get there, seeing both Beep and Bruce as their hero personas. Bruce looked at Naruto with a serious glare at his face. Hold on, we need to assess the situation on what's happening. The Caped Crusader explained to his student as Beep nodded. The boy wonder raised a hand. Look, I want to make sure Zatanna is okay and all, but we can't go half-beeped. Trust me, I went out on a mission where Batman let me take a small lead position. He said before sighing at the memory, it did not work out for me. So it's better to get an understanding of this guy. Batman walked towards Naruto and placed his hands on the teen's shoulders, so to make sure no harm befalls her without a problem, explain the situation to us again. The Gotham hero requested as Naruto took a moment to take a breath and agree with a simple nod. It started like this. Me and Z went to get something to eat after a bad thing at the comic HQ. I noticed this big, almost haunting power source that went past me and I went to check. Soon I confronted the man and when I did he trailed off. What happened? Robin asked. I learned he was doing it to keep us separated. His associate by the name, I assume which is a fake, named / I tried to attack him, but somehow I got attacked from behind. Later he encouraged me to alert the whole Justice League if I wanted to beat him. Batman pondered on this in confusion. Why would some villain encourage Naruto in this manner? One reason would suggest that he was arrogant and overestimating himself. But from the way Naruto described this person, he was more intelligent than wanting a mere boost to his ego. There had to be more to it. What else happened? Bruce inquired the boy. He said at 10 p.m., he will give us 5 challenges to clear and he will let her go, but it has to be done before midnight. The blonde explained the last bit of the information. Everyone looked at the main computer to see it was only 9 but noticed the screen was suddenly shifted as they saw the man on the screen. Greetings, citizens of Gotham. You are probably thinking to yourself that this broadcast is a prank. But I assure you that it is not. It is very, very real. The man began. My name is, for the lack of a name, call me Maxwell Demons Maxwell. Now ill of you be assured, I am not the Joker or even Riddler. I am issuing a challenge to your hero the Batman, Robin and lastly your newest hero Red X. I have a hostage that will be dropped from a building from, I have her. They saw a bound up Zatanna who was gauged with a white cloth around her head, but nonetheless is okay. What is he up to this time? Robin narrowed his eyes. There are, however, a few ground rules. First and foremost, Gotham Police Department is to not intervene. Doing so will result in the hostage's death. None of Gotham City's residents are to assist Batman, Robin, and Red X in the challenges I give them. Doing so will also result in the hostage's death. I'd rather not harm the girl, but I will if the game is not played to my exact degree. Naruto balled up his fist as he felt unbridled rage coming from the depths of his soul and continued to hear what the enemy wanted. Maxwell coughed into his hand as he spoke, as I stated earlier, I will give you 5 challenges. But technically there are 3. Robin, you must face your fears and head to Ace Chemicals, there you will face the one who stirs nightmares. Ace Chemicals. The boy wondered as he wanted to know more about his challenge. Next, for the Caped Crusader, your battle with someone will be a venomous encounter of sorts, find him on the pier. That man didn't allow himself to look anything other than his strong presence as he already had ideas who he would face off. And as for you, the Red X, IZZZRT, face him at Crime Alley. Demons declared as Naruto gritted his teeth as the static prevented any hint. After you complete your individual tasks. The 2 other challenges will be know when you face your enemies. Maxwell declared as he gave a sly smirk, try to finish at the same time, if you can. The trio looked at the screen as Batman went to the computer, it seems this demon's Maxwell has busted out some villains. Bane, Scarecrow, and lastly it seems also Firefly. He said as the 2 younger teens seemed worried for the villains to be named. Them again? Naruto groaned in annoyance. Firefly aside, Bane is the real danger. Robin said, knowing the other villains long enough to know their dangerous abilities. I'm going to fight Scarecrow alone. Batman looked at his ward and nodded, I wouldn't let you do this alone, but we need to keep Zatanna's kidnapper appeased, here. He said, taking out a small pill to Robin, it won't guarantee that his usual fear gas will be completely negated, but as long as he used the original strain, it will be mostly enough to keep your body able to fight it for a long time. He stares at Robin, who looks back at his teacher's eyes, he's not like the other villains, his only strength is using other people's fears, take it away and he's going down. Deep looked shocked at how Batman gave him this much advice and the tone of confidence, it boosted his ego a lot, but as well as kept him alarmed. Got it, but what about you? Bane in of itself relies on his brute strength, thanks to the enhancements on his body. He's not entirely invulnerable, but I should be able to at least tire him out until he shows signs of withdrawal symptoms from his enhancements. Bane is also smart enough to play dirty or use weapons. Naruto reminded him, only time I saw him retreat was here. He pointed to his head, simply reminding them of his dreams of how many villains died to the evil versions of Batman. He might not be as simplistic as you think. But they all stayed silent as the 3rd enemy was for Naruto, and due to that odd moment, they had no intel on how to help the one who will be the most in danger from both the challenge and situation. Are you sure you can handle this? Batman asked his ally, who nodded as a small glow in his hand appeared. I got an edge over 3 Gotham villains, he declared as the man nodded but wasn't truly convinced. Keep your earpieces online. They nodded, but before they can continue, Batman clicked a button on the computer as a large tube from the floor appeared and rose up before opening up, revealing a costume Naruto never saw before. Batman stood next to it as he looked at the blonde magic user, I originally wanted to gift you this for the end of your training, but this might be better used now. Naruto looked at the armor that Bruce gave him, it's the same material as our uniforms, skin tight, allows the perfect amount of pressure to the body to help stop bleeding if it needs to, as well as provide some basic protection on normal enemies. But if you fought against the metahumans or people like Bane it wouldn't do much, Batman explained as Naruto agreed, knowing the truth in that, not much armor can do if you face someone who can bend steel beams into user fire so hot that make buildings turn into cinders easily. Naruto looked at the armor that will be his suit, the appearance is that of a person dressed in a completely black bodysuit that features a red X placed over the top of the left pectoral muscle, an ash gray utility belt that features a silver light gray buckle, a pair of serrated ash gray gloves that feature black outlines around the serrated portions, a single large red X on the palms and the back of the hands, a pair of black boots that feature an ash gray outline around the edge of the soles. A black cape that features an ash gray interior, a black helmet-like mask that features a white skull that lacks the lower jaw, and a red X placed in the middle of the face, with the low right point of the X elongated to end beneath the right eye. The eyes of the mask are white reflective lenses that seem to act like Robin's mask in terms of expressing emotions, and are thickly outlined in black. I won't let you down. Naruto declared as he quickly put on the suit, using a simple spell to help instantly put it on. Naruto could tell how this felt easily, compared to his simple jacket and leather pants, this thing was practically made for him to the point he felt like he has been using this for years. Batman didn't change his face, it's not me you have to let down. He recalled as the 3 looked at each other, never break communication, Naruto, you keep talking and have the device on as much as possible. Beep, never let your fears take away your logic, and as for me, Batman pulled out a pair of bulky knuckle dusters. I'll finish up with Bane to help you two as fast as I can. They all looked at each, a serious look between them all, as this was no longer training, nor routine work, this was do or die time, and they had to pull it off right. Batman and Robin went to the Batmobile as Naruto placed a hand on the ground and vanished into thin air. The boy wonder slowly walked to the entrance of what he was ordered to go by the kidnapper, the abandoned Ace chemical plant. Soon Beep saw the state of rusty steel and scary structures that made the area even more foreboding than it was at night. Robin looked around as he ventured deeper into the area. He looked around as he took a deep breath. Batman, I got to the old Ace chemical plant. Robin whispered to his earpiece as he wanted to make sure the other two were ready before he could go on. Good, I'm at the pier, Red X. Batman's voice came clear in Robin's ear as the boy wonder waited for the blonde's own response. This is Red X, sorry for the late response, for getting into the wrong location despite my spell working. Possibly my fault for getting antsy, Batman, I'm going ahead. Robin heard Naruto's voice letting them know his plan. Go ahead, Red X, remember protocols, in case the enemy is too strong try to buy time until we get there. The Caped Crusader said as Robin waited for his actions. Is he really going to be okay? Robin asked Batman, with concern in his voice. That's why we're here. Batman answered his sidekick. To make sure nothing goes awry. Robin, take it slow, I have your actions being monitored. If you say so. The boy wonder walked forward to see something that surprised him, an entrance of what seems like a maze. Batman, I see. Soon around him small TVs of the kidnapper's face appeared. Greetings boy wonder, you're going to like this. In order to pass this and reach the heroine, you must simply pass this maze. I suggest you turn your head to the right now. Robin didn't do it, but turned his head to the left and oh. He cried as he felt a stinging sensation from the right side of his neck to see a tranquilizing dart embedded in his neck before promptly pulling it out. No fear yet, the face smirked as it returned to a normal look. What entered your bloodstream is the Scarecrow's latest concoction of fear gas. Thankfully it takes more than that to affect you. Considering the pill you took before entering here. He said as the boy wonder managed to keep his face calm when the man seemed to know that Batman gave him the item to prevent the fear gas from working as good. DCH Robin clicked his tongue in annoyance. Now the serum will not go into effect for another 5 minutes, so use this time to get as much through the maze as you possibly can before it takes hold of you. Oh, and the symptoms will become much worse every 2 minutes after that. Clang. Ah. Robin gasped as he heard someone behind him, a demonic shadowy figure of a crooked scarecrow wielding a chain attached to a sickle. I'd best start running now if I were you. Scarecrow was also given a modified version of it with Bane's venom. I call it Mad Scare, it makes the person crash. The kidnapper said, before the TV cut off promptly as Scarecrow screamed out in rage as he dashed towards Robin, who only ran into the maze, unable to keep his heart steady to think normally. Great, this guy is crazy. Beep shouted as he did what the kidnapper told him to do. Run. Meanwhile, the other Caped Crusader arrived at his destination and decided to walk in. There he saw a small TV to one of the warehouse's entrances, whom he hummed and thought as he approached a TV, to which it suddenly prompted Une. The Dark Knight, it is an honor for me to pit you against a rather powerful opponent. But knowing your abilities from the records of what the Gotham Police Department kept, it's not much of a challenge if you have to face him as you are, as your motif is that of a bat. Wear this blindfold. The hero of Gotham looked down to see a small box that had a thick cloth blindfold that even with good sight would be impossible to see. I doubt the world's greatest detective would have such problems with such a minuscule handicap. He said as Batman did what the man wanted, begrudgingly as he had to do what he needed to keep Zatanna safe for his ally in the league. Beware, you will get what's coming to you. Bruce spoke in a haunting tone as the recording merely smiled at the response. HM, I wouldn't expect any less. It wouldn't be much of a thrill in this little game of ours. The man chuckled. Now where was I? Oh yes, you're aesthetic as a bat. You are to use your hearing as you guide. Of course it would be harder to do so if you're stuck in an echo chamber that a metal warehouse can and will be used for the fight. Bane dragged him in. That man's eyes widened as he felt a giant hand grabbing the front of his suit and pulled him into the warehouse. Gah! He cried, flung into the ground as he tried to stand up to use his senses to guide his honed abilities. He easily adjusted to the left when hearing footsteps to where Bane was coming from. Let me ask you, Bane, why take orders from a person like demons? The heavy footsteps vanished as he heard a chuckle from a heavily accented voice. Well Batman, this Diablo isn't like me or even the other people you and I have faced. He started as Batman took the time to get out his weapon. I have faced him and lost, and now I cannot ignore his orders. Dios, if you're in his sight Batman, because it can come crashing down on you. Batman's eyes widened from the back of his blindfold as he leaped out of the way to hear a large impact. Got you. Batman gritted his teeth when Bane slammed his shoulder into the Caped Crusader's chest. Never forget Batman, this is combat. You shall learn to fear me, tonight is the night I break the Batman's back. He roared as he grabbed the hero's ankle and lifted him up. Adios. Crack. TCH. Bane grunted in pain as he felt his jaw dislocated. It took Batman only a second to move and slammed a heavy knuckle-duster to the luchadora's face. And here I thought it was going to be easy. Eyes? Naruto asked as he entered the alley that made Batman and also the Batman who laugh if he remembered right. Tell my ass to keep in contact, but he looked to see a busted TV and raised an eyebrow from the sight. Guys, you see a TV where you enter? Eyes? Red X demanded as allies respond only to hear static, only soon to hear footsteps came by as a metal clacking sound came by from the corner to show him the mask of Firefly. Is that you, Wasp? He joked as he heard a small clapping sound from the corner. Soon he saw the person coming out from it and almost seemed like a bad joke as this person was wearing a half-white and half-black jacket with pants, scarf and mask that had a golden star where the left eye was at and a plain black circle on the right side. On his chest was the yin-yang symbol proudly sitting there. Greetings, young man, I was waiting for an awfully long time. I'm afraid Firefly has come up with a terrible headache to keep you company. Courtesy of me. You? I sincerely apologize. So allow me to compensate by being your opponent on the situation that hangs in the balance for that poor girl. The teen said to Naruto, who chuckled at the blonde slowly raising anger. But before we go at it, as many people would call it, why not let her die? I won't let you kill her. Naruto growled. I'll make sure to kill you before that happens. I see, you have great potential, but you aren't ready. The odd equally colored dress man mused. Very well, let's see if you can keep the balance correct. He said as Naruto attacked him with fist only for the man to step away as Naruto sent a flurry of strikes to the man's body. Who kept moving away and occasionally used his hand to block them as well. You have keen instincts but a lack of skill, you will not be able to stop me if you cannot use. Mob Fo Easy. Naruto shouted as the man grabbed his fist and nothing happened, the blonde looking at his hand surprised at the non-responsive spell. What? It seems the hands of fate have given us a serious sign of fighting with one's own abilities. The shrouded teen declared as he backhanded Naruto with a fist of his own. You're so weak, a shame such power was given to one who cannot properly understand his worth. Naruto glared at him, say that again. He muttered smirking as he uppercutted the person's jaw. You believe I'm weak now? Passion? Red X, simply passion. The person listened as if telling a child the magic of the world was simple science. Naruto glared at the man before pulling out his necklace. Burn, he muttered as the metal from the necklace began to glow. Southpaw, uppercut. Batman iterated Bane's actions as he easily dodged the fighter's attacks with ease. You telegraphed your fighting, making this too easy. He spoke knowing Bane would lose his cool. In a fit of rage, he swung his tree trunk of an arm widely, but Batman ducked underneath and did a low sweep to Bane's legs, causing the enhanced monster of a man to fall on his back. Hold still, so I can send you to the depths of hell. Bane roared angrily as he got up and raised both of his fists up to smash Batman, but the Caped Crusader jumped out of the way. And that's it. Batman yelled, sweeping Bane's legs again as he used the man's falling momentum to make his next uppercut more powerful. Soon he moved away as Bane limply laid on the ground unmoving. The man was about to remove his blindfold until he heard the static of the TV. Clap. 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 Bravo, bravo. That performance was spectacular. As expected of the Caped Crusader. In fact, you've probably exceeded my expectations. The kidnapper chuckled, with a mock applause. Hope you find the clue to where Zatanna is. You may take off your blindfold and help your allies assuming they are alive. Batman took off the item off his face and looked around the warehouse and Bane, even flipping him over. Nothing, he deduced before leaving the area while making sure to let Jim Gordon pick up Bane while he's unconscious. Robin keep his breathing leveled and steady as he navigated his way through the maze. When the 5 minutes had elapsed, the side effects started to trickle in. Every 2 minutes, the symptoms got worse, and it became more difficult for him to traverse through the paths he had to take, hoping to find the exit in time. But with a maniacal scarecrow on his tail, it proved even more difficult. Soon he reached a fork in the road. He was slowly losing the distance between him and Scarecrow. He needed to control his fear. Batman had to confront his fears. Beep repeated to himself, remembering what Batman told him to break the fear poison from crippling his duties. The boy wonder turned back and nearly fell over from fright, but he felt what little courage he had and remembered the fact why he was here. Batman believed in him to do this. Naruto also trusted him to help his kidnapped friend. I am. He remembered the words of Batman that struck fear into the villains. I am vengeance. He stood ready as Scarecrow tossed his hook at Robin, who easily dodged it and wrapped the chain around his arm. I am the knight. He ran to the wall, running upwards to pull the drugged villain as he spun around using the chain to wrap around the Scarecrow and saw the being struggling to escape. Crack. Robin punched the Fearmaster's face as he heard nothing but light breathing from the man. I will be the Batman. Beep smirked to himself before coughing into his hand and dragged the unconscious villain after. What seems like an eternity reached the maze ending. Clap. 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 You truly are a wonder, Robin. I extend my congratulations to you. I'm seriously going to kick your ass if Naruto doesn't, Robin breathed, closing his eyes as he couldn't afford to let his fear best him. Not to worry, each of you have been given a fair trial. I'm not the sort to play an unfair game. It's a little personal rule of mine that I follow, and it wouldn't do to besmirch my reputation for something so trivial. Robin. Bruce shouted as he rushed to his ward's side as he spoke, are you okay? The sidekick of Batman nodded, yeah, this guy is not to be underwhelmed. Someone got Scarecrow on his fear gas mixed with Bane venom. He started as Batman injected him with a small syringe of the cure for the fear gas. What happened to Naruto? I can't contact him, Bane smashed my earpiece. Batman said, unable to best the criminal fighter without losing his. You'd best get a move on, gentlemen. Time is running out for your friend and Zatanna. The kidnapper said before the speaker cut off. Your second clue is here, no, find Naruto before ZRRT. Robin looked around and comically paled at the maze. Nah, I ain't going back. The guy is talking out his ass. Calm down, Robin. Let's just get to Naruto first. And then we'll figure it out from there. Batman said, something's not right. Whoosh. Naruto was surrounded in flames as he and the unknown enemy were locked in fist-to-fist struggle. Naruto tried to sweep his leg while he jumped up, quickly trying to stomp on Naruto's head when the young man was low. Naruto smirked as he rolled out of the way as a small circle appeared, forming a complicated symbol. It flowed brightly as a small spear of earth shot toward the enemy. But the white and black dressed man barely dodges as he grabs a small metal pipe to smack into Naruto's side. You're all talk, even with that tool, he said in a tired tone as this battle was beneath him. Says the guy surrounded by fire. Naruto said as his left hand holding the necklace was still glowing. Watching as the flames started chasing after the person who jumped up, and what the hell are you? He questioned as the man stood tall still on the wall. It's no Rolf. Naruto chased after the man as he glared at him, mage huh? The person chuckled at the insinuation. Why, whatever do you mean? Don't play dumb with me. Well, let's just say I'd like to play on an even field. He said, running away as Naruto gave chase. The blonde threw ice knives which they melted before reaching him. Nothing's working, magic doesn't hurt him, it just fails. Naruto trailed off as he rushed forward and spoke, deep's poo. The blonde body gained a wide aura as he burst forward with high speed, causing him to drag the enemy to the floor, causing them to stop at ledge. Naruto standing above him with his foot on his chest while the odd magic user looked up. It's over. This is what I like, Red X perfectly balanced. He reminded Naruto, who raised an eyebrow at his words. What are you talking about? Naruto demanded the mysterious man. Because we're stuck, either you release me and we both go free, he trailed off grabbing Naruto's leg that was on his chest with both hands. Or we'll both fall to our doom. Shy the skull-masked hero started as the person leaned back as he made both him and Naruto fall. Kabaddi started only for the other falling victim to kick his jaw hard to shut his mouth. Naruto looked as the ground was getting closer until he heard a loud sounds from above and felt a tight but strong cord around his waist. Turning his head, he saw it was Robin and Batman. He saved his life before looking back to see the enemy he was fighting fall to his death in the shadows of Crime Alley. No, Naruto whispered, realizing he couldn't prevent the man's death. But it was short-lived as someone came from the shadows. The person should have died. He just miraculously strolled out of the area as if he landed on a mountain of pillows. He raised his arms with the aura of a person who won the fight. Don't worry, young man. When you're ready and the time is right, he brought a fist towards the blonde and shook it. We'll meet again. Just who the hell are you? The man looked at Naruto despite both of the males wearing masks. They can tell their eyes making contact. Equinox. Soon he walked into the shadows, despite Robin flashing a light and showing it was a dead end. The person named Equinox was never there. Robin clicked his tongue. As Robin wondered how that happened, Batman pulled Naruto. Did the kidnapper give you any hints? He asked as the blonde shook his head. No, Firefly was my fight, but that Equinox guy somehow took him down to fight me. That doesn't make sense. Red X nodded rapidly at the truth. That's what I thought. And he somehow knows magic like I do. Naruto added. Damn it, where did you guys go again? He asked as Robin spoke first. The old Ace chemical factory that closed down when the new one was open. They had me face Scarecrow, who was all drugged up with his fear gas. He stated as Batman nodded. The Caped Crusader helped Red X up. As for me, I went to the pier facing off Bane. Blindfolded. He said as Naruto's eyes widened. Here, Ace Chemicals and Crime Alley. Red X muttered before an idea came to him. Those are. What do you have in mind? But those locations, we could narrow our search of where Zatanna is. Naruto said before putting his hands up. Nerb Coop Tex and came out, his usually drawing sketchbook appearing in his hand. Naruto turned the pages and nodded. Ace Chemicals was where Joker got the last Joker gas that made Batman who laughs. The pier is where he hid the children who were eventually be his Robins, and Crime Alley. Robin smiled, dude, if he's using your him, Naruto Uzumaki's comic series. Then that would mean. Naruto nodded as he pulled the next page as he spoke, the ruins of where the Batman who laughs sits on his throne showing the Batman who laughs creepily sitting on his stone throne with a demonic smile. Gotham Clock Tower. The three members of Gotham's crime busters were on top of the tower as Naruto looked around and saw a small hatch, here. He said, removing it to let them into the building. Why did the Batman who laughs use this as his throne room? Robin asked as he followed the two others, entering a small narrow hallway as Naruto led them to the inner workings of the clock tower. Naruto chuckled as he spoke, because it was the last spot that wasn't destroyed. You believe Zatanna's there? Batman asked, as Naruto nodded as he continued, soon the three were in front of the door. Naruto placed his hand on the doorknob as he turned on it, only one way to find out. He mutters before pushing it to see hundreds of gears and pistons were mashing around the crowded space, soon on one giant clock face was something that made Naruto burn with hatred. Zatanna tied to the hour hand that was close to 12, from the corner of his eyes he saw demons walking towards them, greetings, he started walking in place as Naruto realized he was on a moving gear, as you see, you're challenged, we're all to get you here. He explained as he saw Batman and Robin ready to attack, let's level the playing field. Before you do, humor us by answering one question. Batman began. What is your endgame? And I don't mean what you're doing with Zatanna. Very well. He started as Demons Maxwell spoke, are you all aware of the fact there is actually magic? Of course you three know that fact well. The kidnapper said as the others were not going to give the man any indication of reactions. But I need to create a powerful one. His eyes lay on Naruto, unfortunately it chose you. He could see a red-haired woman next to Naruto giving him the same glare, if only she didn't lose it, I wouldn't have to deal with this. He mumbled that only Batman noticed as demons looked at them. That clears things up. That doesn't tell me anything. Naruto said. Why do you need my magic in the first place? I never need your magic, the role fell to you idiot. A goal that was made for others like Longinus or rather your mother. He said with a look of fury, all because of that damn assassin, I have to do this or everything will be ruined. Wait, you know who crippled my mother? Naruto shouted as his eyes gained a golden glow to them, shocking Batman at the sight of the change of colors. Maxwell looked on with shock before smirking, but of course. But there's no use in talking about broken goods. He said watching Naruto gripping his hands. Why you? Easy. He's getting into your head. Batman said, clasping Naruto's shoulder tight. Demons didn't like it when he saw Naruto trying to calm his mood, can't let it go down, / get them. With a snap of his fingers Batman, Red X and Robin watched as a dark-skinned man laughed as he brought down a unique sword down at them. Tally-ho gents. The man chuckled as he looked at the cape duo, sorry about this, boss man wants me to keep you two on edge, whist he wails on the skull fucker. He watched as Batman charged at him with a lunge which the man used the sword flat end to block it, might want to dodge eat. He said swiping at Batman who leaped back and. Ah. He grunted loudly when a deep cut on his side appeared, how did I? He muttered, unable to understand how he was able to dodge the attack easily. The man had no superior physical abilities like Bane or even his ally Superman, nor any true expertise on sword wielding as he saw that hit a mile away. Yet it was like he was unable to react in time. Batman. Naruto shouted only for his body to be flung to a moving gear, crying in pain from the landing he saw the demon's kidnapper standing in front of him taking off his shirt to show Naruto complicated magical symbols on his body. Just who are you? He questioned as the man didn't respond, only brought out his hands and got into a fighting stance, using his hands to curl his fingers to tell Naruto to come at him. Red X did so taking out a small extendable staff as he tried to hit the man who spun around the weapon and punched Naruto. The blonde didn't give him a chance to respond as he thrusted the staff at the person who grabbed it and with incredible strength tossed the skull-masked hero away to the side. Stop holding back, you can easily beat me with your full strength, demon said. Embrace your full potential. The blonde looked oddly before flinging himself forward as he did an axle kick to harm the man. Who easily blocked it with both hands before pushing Naruto away, now moving after the blonde as Red X barely blocked the enemy's punching. Demon sighed in disappointment, why are you being so difficult? You are much more than this. You must unleash your true power. I don't know what you're talking about, but I don't need it if it means saving Z. Naruto snapped as he swung again, only for demons to catch his hand and gripped it hard. Soon Red X screamed in agony when he felt his finger bones loudly popping from being dislocated. My boy, you have it all wrong. Demon stated, his eyes showing hate, you can't and she will die. Red. Robin shouted trying to rush only for his mentor to sweep and kick him as he fell down before / could cut him, damn it, what's up with this guy? He said nothing about some of his hair falling off from the near cut, despite Bruce giving him a large lead to dodge compared to his own attack. It's like he's cutting distance or something. The Dark Knight didn't make any assumptions as he tried to work his head on this. This kidnapper knows magic. Bane and Scarecrow were pawns to his ludicrous plan to get Naruto here. Ignoring the challenges that were meant for Naruto, he knew one thing, that this backslash wasn't your sword, it cuts time. Realizing this person wasn't normal and the timing of each cut was just not possible by normal means, keyword being normal. The dark-skinned man's eyes widened as he smirked. I'll be damn. World's greatest beep after all. You got it, mate. This little blade here is one rare fey weapon called the Hands of Time. Mine's cuts the time in reverse. So when you think you dodge, bam. You're dead. He chuckled as Bruce didn't say anything as the man chuckled. It's no secret, even when blokes find out this tidbit, they all go belly up in the end, ha. The Caped Crusader threw some batarangs at the sword user who cut them. Did you listen? You backslash couldn't finish that sentence, as he was struck hard on his solar plexus when Batman closed the distance in an instant. How? You're right about one thing, cutting time is a powerful weapon. But I train myself to react to the smallest detail in second, if it means to keep Gotham safe. He started as he allowed backslash to stand up using both hands to use his sword correctly. Robin. Got it? The boy wonder leaped over Batman as backslash rushed towards the kid, smiling as he swung the sword when POW. Damn it. The magic sword user cried as he skidded on the floor from another punch from Batman. Pay attention. Robin said, throwing a few batarangs of his own which they exploded on contact with his opponent. Backslash once again cut them, smirking as he saw Batman in place and was going to crack. The hell is going on? The man cried, unable to understand how he was getting beaten so badly despite having a powerful weapon on hand. For someone who slashes time, you're so predictable. Batman said, before punching backslash square on the jaw. It's one thing to fight someone one-on-one, but two-on-one? You're going to need a second pair of eyes on us. He kicked the man to the side as Robin rushed and landed a punch on the man's face. Not to mention, when you do those short swings, time gets cut by 1 to 2 seconds at most, big swings nearly double it. So we got the timing down to dodge, with your information giving us confirmation. He said, pulling the man up as he and Batman punched the swordsman face together as he lay there defeated. They say time heals all wounds, but you're going to feel those for a long time. Robin chuckled as he and Batman watched demons beating Red X down. No. I grow tired and weary of this nonsense. And my patience is running quite thin. Demon said, tugging on his collar, trying to keep himself calm. Why can't you just use it? Kushina did it without. The man tossed Naruto to the side as he hit the two heroes. Time for drastic measures. Ugh, that hurt. Robin groaned in pain, having taken the brunt of Naruto's weight crashing into him. Where did he? Naruto trailed off as he saw something that caused his voice to die in his throat. The clock face for tower was now gone, as the kidnappers had Zatanna, who was in his arms, struggling to move. Stop it. He shouted as Demons shook his head. Last chance, Red X, use it or she dies. He warned as Batman and Robin threw their respective gadgets to him. Who he spoke, vanish. With those words, the weapons simply stay for a moment in midair before disappearing from the three sights. Now's your choice, Uzumaki. The kidnapper shouted, use it. Naruto looked lost before spewing, I don't know what you mean. Use what? Demons closed his eyes. He ripped out Zatanna's gag and looked at her. I temporarily disabled your magic. You can try to speak backwards, but you won't be able to do anything, he warned as a dark tone underneath his words made the girl shiver in fear. Zatanna. Red X called out. Are you scared? Demons asked the girl, lifting her up. The girl only nodded in fear as Maxwell smiled darkly. Good, you should be. Naruto tried to jump upwards only for him to hit an invisible force. Falling back down, he could only watch as he saw the man do one thing, make peace with your gods. You bastard. Let her go. Demons turned to Red X and merely smirked. Very well, if it means using your magic, then I will happily oblige. He said before doing as Red X told him to. Letting her go. It was all so slow. Naruto watched as Zatanna's body started to fall. Beep Grayson, trying his best to move past the invisible force that prevented them from moving. Batman, smashing his fist to break down the barrier. Demons looking above, almost confused on what he just did. Naruto just fell to his knees, tears falling as he remembered how he met her. His mother, when she was still able to walk, bringing home an odd man he's seen on TV before as both a hero and rising magician on TV. A lovely woman around his age smiling at the young boy with a young girl hiding behind her leg, no doubt shy about the new place. She was always the shy one. She was always there for him and he did the same. She was. Naruto necklace glowed as the silver key detached itself from the chain as it floated in front of Naruto. The kidnapper looked at the sight with a smile of hope. It worked, he whispered as the blonde looked at the sight of the weapon. You are the one who shall use me. What? Naruto whispered, noting the sight of Bruce in mid-punch and Beep shoulder smashing in the unseeable wall, both unmoving as he looked at the small orb of light in front of him. Use you. You are the one who shall inherit the duty of the Silver Key Priest. No. Naruto shook his head, tears still falling down. I don't care about this. I want to save her. Grab hold of my power and you shall, open the way and save her, but know this, if you do, your life shall never be the same. Your life shall belong to your duty never. It doesn't matter. Naruto stood up as he spoke with a smile, a silence came as he chuckled, confused immensely. Naruto tilted his head to the side, duty, life, power. He listened as he stood up. It doesn't matter, I will not only use this and save Zatanna, but I will use it to help others. Now tell me how to use you. Naruto heard nothing as the orb expanded into a large rectangle floating in front of him. Soon he moved his hand into it and felt a handle pulling it out. His hand held onto a giant silver key. The design of the key was something of a work of art, yet at the same time something that struck fear into people's hearts. It has a dark black handle with a raised spiral carved around it. Its pommel and guard resemble black demonic wings. The base of the blade is an etching of a goat, and the shaft is formed from two black barbed blades, etched with a wide icon resembling a bramble of thorns. The teeth are formed in the shape of a demonic wing and are set with a gazing eye. Naruto's hand gripped it as he lifted the blade, ignoring his two allies, confusion on what he was doing or why he had that weapon appeared. Save her, he whispered, hoping this will work, and brought it down. Click. The giant black line appeared as it widely opened up to see Naruto. Batman and Robin watched as the black hole showed an upside view of sky where they saw Zatanna flying towards them, despite the disbelief that happened in front of him. Batman quickly jumped into the portal, grabbing Zatanna as he pulled out a grappling hook to lower their descent. Naruto, however, felt every cell in his body was burning and screaming for him to stop whatever he was doing. Batman, I can't hold it for long, get her in. He said as the Caped Crusader let go of the item as he and the girl safely entered the portal and slide on their sides. Shit, Naruto cried, falling to face first as he felt his body was drained of everything to hold that power. Ow, that wasn't. Zatanna started before Batman placed her on her behind as he looked onto the kidnapper. You're done. He said as the man shook his head. The attempted murderer only smiled at the night sky before snapping his fingers to return the clock face and spoke. No, my mission is done, Batman, I have no other roles to play. What are you talking about? Robin asked. I merely was to play a role, no point in someone like me to continue on. He said as Batman's eyes widened at the implication as he pulled out a batarang filled with knockout gas. Robin, knock him out. He ordered as Beat pulled out a similar weapon for himself, but Naruto's eyes widened as he, despite the pain he was in, rushed to Zatanna and placed her face in his chest. Looking as the man took a single step, ignoring the gas that made him close his eyes to a peaceful sleep, falling into one of the giant. Crack. Slick. Crack. Damn it. Robin cursed as he rushed over to the edge to look down, but to his surprise, there was nobody there. Huh. What the hell? That man glared at the side of what he thought would be a crime scene and spoke. He planned this, he sounded convincing. He said, for once impressed at the lie, as he even believed the man was going to die. The sounds were believable as the bones breaking and flesh mangling was something he heard before. The what? Robin asked incredulously. I have a feeling we won't be seeing the last of him. Batman added, before turning to Red X, who kept Zatanna close to him, muttering how she was alright and that she was safe. Here, she said, placing a hand on his mask as he gently placed a hand on hers. Please let me. Zatanna asked kindly as Red X removed his hands as she resumed taking off his mask and smiled. I knew you were going to save me. She hugged him tightly as the young man held her tightly as well. Naruto was happy that he was able to protect someone he loves from harm at last. Still. Naruto asked Batman as he had his identity hidden once more. Nothing. Both Batman and Zatanna's father, Zatara, walked to him. No, it's like he never existed in the first place. No DNA, no fingerprints. The Italian man also nodded. Even when I interrogated the he didn't know much. Then again, he's an idiot to begin with. He deadpan as everyone couldn't speak on that since the man had a powerful weapon but couldn't make the most of it. Just who was he? Robin asked as he heard of magic users, but this was way more than he can handle. Naruto told him rules were a big part of magic. It may seem limitless, but it only works in the scope of one's own ability. I don't know. For some reason, he knew things more than I initially thought. It was like he was. Naruto asked. He was what? Batman narrowed his eyes. This will sound weird, but it was like he was trying to teach me something, Red X said, looking at his silver key weapon. All this time, he was trying to get me to use this, he muttered aimlessly, moving his wrist to glance at the item. It was all for me to use this. Zatara looked at the weapon as he spoke. For now, let's keep that under wraps. If it's what the man wanted, it only means it has more power than we can hope. He said before moving to his daughter, I should be mad that you did this, but the man couldn't stop himself from hugging his daughter, but I thank the Lord above that you were unharmed. The girl hugged her father back with relief all over her features. I know, Daddy, she sighed as the man spoke. You're still grounded. I know. Naruto sighed as he saw Batman looking at him. I know, he stood up with a tone that was laced with sadness. I let myself get my head full of revenge, and I almost lost my friend. I screwed up. Handle yourself. Batman cut in as he spoke. At first I didn't think you were ready, but your abilities are more than I can understand. You did make mistakes, but know this, you are getting better. So you're staying as part of my team until you're good enough to go alone. Bruce gave a smirk that made Naruto look confused before smiling widely. Seriously? I can stay. He said, thinking he was going to be sent home. A smile left Bruce as he pointed at the weapon. Don't get ahead of yourself. When we get to the cave we're checking this out. Alright, the blonde said, chuckling nervously. Zatanna was going to speak as Zatanna pulled on his coattails. He turned to see her mouth red and then made an X with her fingers. Red X, I thank you for saving my daughter. And I believe Batman is training you well. He said as he gave the world's greatest detective a nod. You think so? Red X asked. Zatanna gripped his shoulders firmly. Your mother, whoever she may be, would be proud, my son. He promised as he looked at his daughter. The girl nodded but quickly rushed to Naruto, pulled his mask slightly upwards to show his lower face, and leaned in to kiss his cheek. Ready, daddy. She said as the man chuckled at what she did and waved goodbye. Demo. Everyone closed their eyes as they were the only ones left as Red X touched his cheek at the sensation of Zatanna's lips that were pressed against it. However, he snapped out of it when Robin slapped his back. Huh. Well, you got the sword key thing and a kiss from a pretty girl. You're definitely getting hero material from this. Ugh, why are you right about this? Naruto groaned. Batman didn't break up this little friendship as he looked at the clock tower and wondered what that strange man meant for his role. What was the reason for Naruto to gain that odd key weapon? The morning was coming as Robin and Naruto came down to the Batcave, rested up from last night. The two came down. Watching Bruce Wayne studying the key weapon, Naruto walked next to him and spoke. Anything? He asked, only for the billionaire to shake his head. Nothing. Bruce answered as he was eyeing the weapon under a magnifying glass, studying it carefully. The metal isn't on the Earth's known elements on the periodic table. I can't even sample the metal's material. I tried. The two boys looked as the man sighed and pulled out a laser. You might want to duck. He informed the man to click the button as Beep leaped out of the way when the laser reflected to his direction. Naruto did as told, ducking, though the laser singed through a few locks of his hair, even producing a small wick of flames. Ow, hot, 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 hot. He cried out, waving it quickly to put it out. It reflects any damage I send it, Bruce said as Naruto looked at the weapon and picked it up. Odd, something's weird. Naruto, as CEO of Wayne Corporation, raised his eyebrow soon about reaching for the weapon. Wait, don't. He begged Bruce as the second his hand made direct contact with the weapon something happened, the weapon started vibrating loudly. Scree. Whoa. Naruto shouted, dropping the weapon as he felt something was coming. Soon it shrank in size and returned into a simple silver key again as he picked it up. That was odd. What just happened? Robin asked. I think something came. Naruto whispered as he looked at the key and shamed it as nothing happened. I'll ask Grandpa later, I don't think it's anything bad. Naruto hoped as he felt something should be in this world. So this part ends here. Alright, that's it for today's video guys. Let me know in the comments section how was the story, and also don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I will meet you in another video. Bye bye.